Welcome to This Explainer. What if I told you that the quality of your life, your aging, your emotional resilience, your ability to heal, isn't just about willpower? Actually, it's being dictated by a hidden operating system running beneath your conscious experience. Today, we're going to unlock what we call the biological backdoor to true recovery.
It's kind of the central mystery of modern health, right? You know exactly what you're supposed to do. You need to get more rest, stress less, just recover. And yet, despite knowing all of this, your nervous system absolutely refuses to power down. You turn off the lights, you flip the pillow to the cool side, but your brain, it just keeps racing. So why does our body resist the exact recovery it desperately needs? Well, to answer that, we have to look closely at the invisible biological forces shaping your life every single day.
The thing you have to understand is that the body is one deeply interconnected system. When you experience even a single disruption in sleep, it triggers this massive biological domino effect. Just within hours, a lack of deep sleep alters your brain's natural clearing processes. Fast forward a few days, and we start seeing measurable hormonal shifts. Specifically, your cortisol levels shoot up. Give it a few weeks, this cascade turns into mood alteration and clinical anxiety. Over months, your entire autonomic nervous system becomes totally dysregulated, basically locking you into a constant state of survival. And over years, this hidden cascade leads to chronic inflammation and premature aging. Honestly, this is the default path of modern stress. But evolutionary biology actually left us a hidden mechanism to pull the emergency brake.
Which brings us to Section 1, the olfactory backdoor. To stop that devastating domino effect, science points to a completely counterintuitive solution. It's a biological backdoor that uses specific plant-derived molecules, acting as a physical key to our hidden operating system. And the secret here lies in the sheer microscopic scale of these molecules. We're talking about volatile compounds weighing less than 300 daltons. To put that into perspective, they are so infinitesimally small that they readily vaporize at room temperature. They basically become these tiny airborne keys, just waiting to unlock your nervous system the moment you inhale them. Let's visualize this journey for a second. These tiny molecules vaporize in the air, you breathe them in, and they dissolve right into the mucus lining of your nasal cavity. Once there, they bind to very specific receptors. This binding fires a signal along your olfactory nerve. But here is the truly fascinating part, the part that changes everything. Unlike literally every other sense you have, these signals completely bypass the brain's thalamic filter. They skip the gatekeeper and shoot straight into the limbic system. That's the emotional and autonomic hub of your brain, meaning they have a direct, rapid connection to the absolute core of your emotional regulation.
Let's move into Section 2, the brain's brake pedal.
If we zoom all the way down to the cellular level, we find the exact target of these microscopic molecules. It's a neurotransmitter known as GABA. Now, GABA is quite literally the brain's brake pedal. When you're trapped in that high-alert, anxious daytime state, riding those fast beta brainwaves, GABA is the exact mechanism that forces your brain to transition into the slow, restorative alpha and theta waves of deep sleep. But the real question is, how do we physically press that pedal?
Well, research shows that specific volatile compounds like linalool and linalool acetate, which are abundantly found in plants like lavender and bergamot, chemically bind to these GABA receptors. Scientists call them positive allosteric modulators, but in plain English, they flood your neurons with chloride ions, which quiets the firing of your brain exactly like a synthetic sedative would, except this is happening through a completely natural, non-invasive pathway.
And it doesn't even stop with just triggering GABA receptors. What we're uncovering here is a highly targeted biological technology, not just, pleasant smells. Different botanical compounds manipulate totally different neural levers, expanding your neural toolkit. For instance, valerianic acid from valerian root actually blocks the breakdown of GABA, keeping more of it active in your brain for longer. Cedarwood, found in cedarwood, specifically dampens your sympathetic nervous system, slowing your heart rate down and physically grounding you. And incredibly, compounds in lavender even inhibit certain enzymes to elevate your body's natural endocannabinoid levels, acting as a massive emotional regulator and pain modulator. It's unbelievable.
Now for Section 3, rewiring stress and cortisol.
You see, these microscopic cellular changes don't just stay in the brain. They trigger a massive, whole-body hormonal shift. Our bodies are basically in a constant tug-of-war between two states. You have the sympathetic survival mode, which is flooded with high cortisol and a racing heart. And then you have the parasympathetic recovery mode, which lowers cortisol and stabilizes your system. Clinical studies show that inhaling these specific compounds forces a highly measurable drop in your salivary and serum cortisol. So you aren't just subjectively feeling relaxed, you are chemically forcing your biology out of survival mode and into recovery.
That brings us to Section 4, the architecture of recovery.
Now, to prove that this isn't just some spa day luxury, but a profound, evidence-based medical intervention, we need to ground these mechanisms in elite scientific reality. Let's look at the architecture of recovery in highly stressed populations, like oncology patients. The physical and psychological toll of cancer makes it one of the absolute hardest environments to induce restful sleep. In fact, sleep disorder prevalence in this group reaches a staggering 80%. And this sets the stage for one of the most rigorous clinical tests of olfactory modulation in modern medicine.
In a major meta-analysis of these oncology patients, the data revealed a massive clinical divergence. Single-source essential oils profoundly improved sleep, with lavender alone showing a dramatic standardized mean difference of -1.06. But here is the surprising part. Complex, expensive commercial blends? They failed entirely. They showed zero statistically significant improvement. The science is telling us a completely misunderstood truth here. When it comes to neurobiological targeting, purity and simplicity often vastly outperform complex, commercialized mixtures.
And the clinical efficacy extends even further. A comprehensive meta-analysis evaluating inhalation aromatherapy for severe comorbid insomnia, meaning sleep disturbances caused by another medical or psychiatric diagnosis, showed a significant 2.90-point drop on the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index. Now, a 2.90-point drop isn't just a mild improvement. In clinical terms, that is the difference between chronic sleep failure and actual restorative rest. This is a highly measurable, powerful intervention for patients suffering from intense, disease-related sleep deprivation.
What this research powerfully illustrates is that you simply cannot separate sleep recovery from emotional resilience. They are one and the same. As the sleep architecture was repaired in these patients, researchers observed a concurrent, highly significant drop in both clinical anxiety and clinical depression. Fixing sleep naturally mitigates systemic emotional distress. And the best part? This is achieved non-invasively, utilizing that olfactory backdoor, with an incredibly favorable safety and side effect profile when you compare it to conventional synthetic sedatives.
Think of this as your biological control panel. If you know how to use this hidden operating system, you can actively curate your own routine. Say you need sedation and a drop in cortisol. You target the GABA receptors with the linalool in lavender. If you need to stop a racing heart and ground your nervous system, you use the cedrol in cedarwood. And if you need to fundamentally quiet your mind by increasing synaptic GABA density, the valerianic acid in valerian is your target. You are essentially being handed the control codes, letting you select the specific biological key for the neural lock you need to turn.
Which leads us to our final section, Section 5, the interconnected biology of aging.
Because mastering this biological backdoor, it isn't just about feeling a little less tired tomorrow morning. It is about the long-term consequences of cellular repair and the biology of aging itself. The ultimate end goal of this entire neurobiological cascade is achieving deep NREM slow-wave sleep. This specific phase of sleep is the exact moment when actual physical tissue repair happens. It's when your immune system is strengthened and when the brain quite literally flushes out metabolic waste. Deep NREM sleep is the ultimate anti-aging state, and if your nervous system is too stressed to enter it, you are silently accelerating your own aging process every single night.
We really have to fundamentally shift how we view our well-being. Health is not just some collection of isolated separate habits that you check off a list. It is the emergent result of countless interconnected biological processes occurring every moment of every day. Just think about it. Your sleep influences your hormones. Your hormones influence your mood. Your mood dictates your behavior, which then impacts your nervous system. Your nervous system controls systemic inflammation, and that inflammation ultimately dictates exactly how you age.
The amazing thing is, every breath you take, every scent you inhale, has the potential to alter this cascade. You possess a biological backdoor directly to your limbic system, a direct pathway to lower your cortisol, increase your GABA, and unlock deep, restorative sleep. So the question I want to leave you with today is this. Are you actively orchestrating the hidden operating system of your health, or are you just living with the defaults? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I truly hope this changes how you see your biology, your recovery, and ultimately, your future.